What's up, guys? This is Dave from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, September 29th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video, hit that red subscribe button, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. All right, guys, we have a hefty MLB slate today, so let's dive into the pitcher position. So I like Logan Gilbert from the Seattle Mariners. He's pitching against the 25th worst batting team, the Oakland A's. Gilbert has a fantastic dash rank of 100, and he's given up a mere .132 batting average versus the A's. Over his last 68 pitches against them, he's only given up 9 hits, and he's averaging 19 fantasy points per game this season. Gilbert has a solid ERA of 3.33 and 213 strikeouts, so he's in a great spot at $9,300 DraftKings salary. Moreover, his ownership percentage should be high, which indicates field confidence. So I like Logan Gilbert here versus the Oakland A's. Okay, moving on to the catcher position. I like Will Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's batting against a super low salary pitcher from the Colorado Rockies, giving him a favorable matchup here. Will Smith has a career high in home runs this season with 20, and he's batting .248. He might not have a stellar OPS against this pitcher at just .167, but coming off a recent 3-homer game and averaging 8 fantasy points per game, he could be an interesting pick. He's 5,900 on DraftKings with a dash rank of 38 and a 17% ownership, making him a bit of a gamble, but one that could pay off if he continues his hot streak. Now let's talk about the first base position. For a value play, look at Luke Raley from the Seattle Mariners. He's batting against the Oakland A's and boasts a batter total advantage of 900%. Raley's batting .244 with 22 home runs, and he's 2 for 3 against the opposing pitcher, giving him an impressive 0.667 batting average. He recently had a 29 fantasy point game, making him a high upside risk at only 3,500 on DraftKings. His low 5% ownership could make him a sleeper pick worth the gamble today. Moving on to the second base position, I like Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Although he's facing a middle-of-the-pack pitching team, he possesses a batter total advantage of 600%. Marte's batting .291 with 35 home runs and a favorable OPS of .884 against lefties. He's 5,800 on DraftKings and averages 9 fantasy points per game. I like Ketel Marte here versus the San Diego Padres. At third base, I'm rolling with Max Muncy from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's batting against a super low salary pitcher from the Colorado Rockies, giving him a remarkable batter total advantage of 2,600%. Muncy's batting .236 with 15 home runs. He has a solid OPS of .869 versus righties and a respectable .333 batting average against this pitcher. He's 5,700 on DraftKings and has a 15% ownership, making him a strong pick in this favorable matchup. For the shortstop position, consider Ezequiel Tovar of the Colorado Rockies. He's up against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who rank as the worst defense versus shortstops, putting him in a favorable spot. Although he has a negative batter total advantage of -4,500%, his recent performance is strong, scoring 20, 13, and 14 points in the last 3 games. With a batting average of .270 and 26 home runs this season, Tovar at 5,500 on DraftKings with a 9% ownership is a calculated risk worth considering. Lastly, let's tackle the outfield. Shohei Ohtani from the Los Angeles Dodgers is a must pick. Batting against a low-salary pitcher from the Colorado Rockies, Ohtani holds a batter total advantage of 2,100%. He's batting .310 with a staggering 54 home runs and a 1.138 OPS versus righties. Ohtani has an impressive 13 fantasy points per game and is blazing hot, scoring 15, 38, and 15 points in his last 3 games. His 8,200 DraftKings salary and 50% ownership make him an essential pick today. Before I move on to the value plays, remember you can try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself by clicking the link in the description of this video. All right, let's talk value. On the mound, Hayden Birdsong from the San Francisco Giants stands out. Priced at just $5,200, he's going up against the St. Louis Cardinals with a favorable defensive rank of 28. Birdsong averages 12 fantasy points per game, has a 4.66 ERA, and impressive strikeout numbers. He hasn't faced the team before, so he's a bit of an unknown quantity, but he's coming off solid performances of 19, 13, and 18 fantasy points in his last 3 games. For a budget catcher, look at Pedro Pages from the St. Louis Cardinals. Although not widely owned, Pages has a strong batter total advantage of 3,000% versus the San Francisco Giants. At 2,400 on DraftKings, he's averaging 5 fantasy points per game. With recent scores of 10, 16, and 10, he's a solid value play. Donovan Solano at first base for San Diego Padres is another value pick. With an opponent rank of 11 and priced at 2,400 on DraftKings, he has a 200% batting total advantage. Solano is batting .287 and typically provides steady yet unspectacular results. Given his low 8% ownership, he's a decent value consideration. At second base, Brendan Donovan from St. Louis Cardinals has solid numbers. He's taking on the San Francisco Giants and boasts a batter total advantage of 3,000%. With 13 home runs and a .276 batting average, Donovan is 3,300 DraftKings salary and recently scored 17, 3, and 3 fantasy points. He's worth a look, especially at lower ownership levels. If you want to add a budget third baseman, consider Josh Rojas from the Seattle Mariners. With a batting average of .227 and 8 home runs, Rojas has a batter total advantage of 1,500%. At $2,600 on DraftKings, he's averaging 5 fantasy points per game and has scored 7, 2, and 5 points in his last 3 games. His 3% ownership offers sleeper potential. For shortstop, J.P. Crawford from the Seattle Mariners is a fine bargain. Priced at $3,000 on DraftKings, he has a .333 batting average against today's pitcher. Crawford has a batter total advantage of 1,100% and has been fairly consistent, scoring 2, 0, and 7 points in his recent games. At a 5% ownership, Crawford is a viable low-cost choice. And finally in the outfield, take a look at Lars Nootbaar from the St. Louis Cardinals. With a batter total advantage of 2,400% and an opponent rank of 29, Nootbaar presents a solid value at 2,900 DraftKings salary. He's averaging 7 fantasy points per game with 12 home runs on the season. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again, and good luck.